In this video, we'll show you how to rebuild a Betz external chemical hydraulic valve. Please observe all safety guidelines, use correct tools, and wear the appropriate safety apparel when performing any of these operations. As with any maintenance work, proper safety gear and procedures must be used at all times. A list of hazards may include, but are not limited to, contents under pressure, loaded springs, pinch points, residual product, flammable or toxic liquids and vapors. Start with the valve securely mounted in a vise, as shown. Cut and remove the retaining wire and unscrew the indicator pins. After the indicator pins have been removed, use the custom spanner tool, Betz part number 16236MS, to remove the piston holder assembly. After removal, inspect the piston for scratches or pitting. Replace if these cannot be easily removed by polishing. Again, using a spanner tool, remove the lower stem half and mainspring, turning in a counterclockwise direction. Decompression of the spring will take considerable effort, approximately 45 to 50 turns in total. Once removed, inspect each for damage. Carefully separate the valve housing from the disc and upper stem half. Using wrenches, separate and remove the cap nut and cap collar from the cap. Separate the disc from the upper stem half. Carefully inspect the seat of the disc and the outer diameter of the upper stem half. Replace if worn, pitted, or damaged in any way. Remove and replace the Teflon washer on the upper stem half and replace it with a new one. If you have the O-ring style disc, remove and replace the O-ring. Do not use the Teflon washer. Then, reinstall the disc, collar, and cap nut and tighten to approximately 30 foot-pounds. Now, remove the packing spring washer, stuffing box spring, and follower washer from the housing. Using your fingers, dislodge and remove the packing rings and wiper. Carefully remove the replaceable seat by driving the tip of a screwdriver into the seat and prying it out, taking care not to damage the main seat. Wipe the seat clean and check for damage. If the seat groove is damaged, the body must be replaced. Then, install a new replaceable seat. Start on one end and work around the perimeter. Use your palm to push in the final section and be sure to hear a snap when fully seated. Clamp the lower stem half into a vise with non-marring jaws and use a spanner tool to remove the seal retainer ring. Next, remove the bearing and the main seal. Now install a new main seal. The cupped side of the seal must be installed facing downward into the bore. Apply anti-seize compound to the threads and reinstall the bearing and seal retainer ring and tighten to approximately 30 foot-pounds. Now, clamp the piston holder half into the vise and use an Allen wrench to remove the piston. After removal, inspect the piston for any damage or excessive wear. Damaged or excessively worn parts must always be replaced. Remove the flat fiber seal washer and, with the piston holder still in the vise, carefully use a pick to remove the O-ring seal. Inspect the O-ring groove for damage. Then install a new O-ring. Install a new flat fiber seal washer over the threads of the piston and apply removable thread lock compound to the threads. Install the piston back into the piston holder, taking care not to damage the O-ring. Tighten to approximately 30 foot-pounds. This next step utilizes a custom packing guide tool, Betz part number 28928 AL. With the upper stem half securely mounted in the vise, install the packing guide tool over the threads of the stem. Next, carefully slide the valve body over the guide tool and rejoin it with the disc and upper stem half. Install the Teflon wiper so the tapered side of the wiper points downward toward the disc. Then insert the new packing rings, taking extra care to make sure the cupped sides of the rings are installed downward toward the disc. Then reinstall the following washer, stuffing box spring, and the main spring washer in that order. Take special care to make sure the serrations on the main spring washer face downward toward the disc. Next, reinstall the mainspring and remove the alignment tool. Apply anti-seize compound to the lower stem half and reinstall in a clockwise direction using a spanner tool. Compression of the spring will take considerable effort and approximately 45 to 50 turns. Tighten to approximately 30 foot-pounds. Now, apply some anti-seize compound to the threads of the piston holder. Then add some low-temperature lubricant to the piston end and reinstall the piston. Tighten to approximately 30 foot-pounds. After tightening the piston holder, look into the indicator pinholes and use a wrench inserted into the valve body outlet to rotate the inner assembly to line up with the holes for the indicator pins. Reinstall the pins. Finally, install new retaining wire, and the process is now complete. Before returning the valve to service, completely test the function of the hydraulics and check for any leaks, including at the main seat.